We caught up with some of India's biggest money managers and insurance executives to ask them a simple question. If they could have dinner with any business icon, dead or alive, who would that be?
Yeah, I'll pick two actually. I mean, the first one obviously is Mark Mobius. I'm a big fan of Mark Mobius because how do you identify a country before it happens? You know, that's a phenomenal thought process. And I've read him throughout, followed him a lot. He's a very different person, which I would love to spend half an hour, 1 hour with him, though I've spent some time with him, but dinner with him. Second is not because I work for Mirai, but it's incredible to see a private equity fund manager of 30 years ago. Today, a global investor is my chairman, Mr. Jhunjhunwala. How do they think of the future that way? Today, when I think last year he said in this geopolitical thing of the world, there will be one winner called India. How does he single out India across the world? And sometimes how does he know this much about India, which we staying in India, we don't? And those are mind-blowing minds, which I'd like to have dinner sometime. I would just have a dinner with Morgan Housel, one of the great investors, and just pick his brains in terms of his investment thoughts on various companies that he has analyzed and how he has looked at those investments. So anything that you get from those investors will definitely be worthwhile. In my mind, Howard Mark is someone who I would really want to have a chat with. And I think this question which I would ask him is that because he is the one who wrote about and mastered the market cycles, so to say. The question to ask him is when do you sell? I think entry is easier, but when do you sell and when do you exit a particular market cycle is a question which I think is very relevant now. And I think no better person than him to ask that question.
I had to look this up, but gentleman called R.K. Chetty. He was Independent India's first finance minister, and I think would really be curious to know what was going through his mind when he was preparing the first budget as we come into the budget season again for the umpteenth time. But that would have been a very interesting time to make a budget.
One obvious name these days is actually Elon Musk. The company at times called the boring company. It's anything but boring. There's a lot of excitement stuff happening there. I'm actually more keen as far as Elon's initiative around the entire medical transformation is concerned. That's something which I would really look forward to and have a discussion around it in terms of some of the very, very exciting stuff which is happening in that space.
I would definitely want to have a sit-down dinner with Mr. Ratan Tata. And the one question I would ask him is, what is the main thing that he has built his business and the foundation of his business on? I think that is what I would really like to find out.
It would be Charlie Munger, and especially because he's known for his reading. He reads almost 400 pages a day. So how he does it, because that is most important for all of us as an investment professional to both read and listen to people.
See, it would have been Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, but since it is not alive, assuming I would have got chance to have dinner with him, I would have asked him what kind of courage or what kind of gut feeling you get to take that kind of risk, because without risk, life doesn't exist.
So, in fact, I will take a little bit different name. I don't know how many of you have, you know him, and I will urge that everybody Google and understand him more. Prafulla Chandra Roy. He started Bengal Chemical. Bengal Chemical is still there. It's now more or less a sick company, but at one point of time, it was a thriving company. And he actually understood what are the requirements. So he was actually a scientist, but with an acumen that Bharat ke liye kya zarurat hai. Simple thing, naphthalene. That's the most important thing at that point of time. So I would have asked him that how you would have thought of creating this particular company, helping Bharat, and how that thought process of what are the basic requirement of any Indian and how I can help that. I think in every processes, if we think about Bharat and if we think about where is the gap, what is the requirement and how we can help to fulfill that gap, we can have a better India, a greater India.